posted a few videos about the Tenterfield Terror, just one of the new hard enduro events from our Australian series. So far, it has been footage of Coxie riding in the event, but now you get to see me pottering around the track. The race occurs in 6,500 acres of spectacular terrain in northern New South Wales. Even the drive in is incredibly scenic. Years ago, I used to adventure ride in this region, and I can't wait to get back on the DR650. Jeff and I have entered as marshals. We figured racing is just for the younger crowd. It's a pile of fun. You can ride the easy bronze tracks. If you have the skills, you can ride the gold class tracks. We were just given radios and told to ride as fast or as slow as we liked, and help out if anyone was in trouble. If you have been thinking of trying a hard enduro event, or just even a normal enduro event, this is a great way to see what it's like with zero pressure. I must admit it was a humbling experience for me. The previous year I volunteered as a marshal, but fractured my spine just days before the event. So a year later, I was only just starting to ride again and being very careful to look after my back. Unfortunately, we dropped into this long rocky creek section and I spent about an hour in pain trying to get through it. At one point, I was just lying on my back on the rocks trying to deal with the pain. My riding technique went to shit and Jeff had to ride my bike through the tougher sections. I didn't film it. You would have heard a lot of swearing, whining and moaning. Anyway, after a lot of ibuprofen, we fronted up the next day. The guys sent us out on the Prologue track just before the competitors started. The original Prologue track had to be abandoned the previous day, so this new one was pegged out rapidly. There were almost no technical bits, so it suited the faster riders. A nice long hill climb right up the mountain here. The best riders were going absolutely apeshit on this climb. We stopped at this off-camber log to see if anybody needed help. One thing I consistently notice at all the hard enduro events, at least half the competitors know very little about how to get over logs. And from what I've seen in Canada, it's an international issue. For hard enduros, you need to know the skid plate or bash plate technique at an absolute minimum. And if you want to get over logs fast, then the punch technique is probably the second most important technique to learn. If you want to become a true master of logs, see our 10 Ways to Hop Over Logs series. I get quite a few questions from viewers about whether they should try enduro racing. If you do, here's a summary of the tips I covered in our video about your first enduro event. Pacing yourself, a relaxed attitude and conserving your energy are all very important for your first ever enduro event. It's very easy to get caught up in all the excitement, go hard, then be exhausted after only 10 minutes and make serious mistakes. The best advice I had was just start with an easy pace and pretend you were just on an everyday trail ride. That adrenaline rush at the start is part of what makes racing exciting, but too much adrenaline in your system quickly leads to fatigue, arm pump and bad riding technique. At the start and throughout the race, remind yourself to stay calm and breathe. It's funny how often fatigue can be from riders holding their breath when they give in to that adrenaline rush. Conserve energy. Standing on the foot pegs usually gives you more control over the bike, but sitting on the seat as much as possible will save a lot of energy too. Good technique is part of this as well. As mentioned, knowing a few basic log hopping techniques can save lots of energy instead of lifting your bike over logs or crashing. Act instead of react. When you come to difficult sections, there is nothing wrong with stopping and looking for the best approach. Look for alternative lines. It's common to see huge traffic jams at enduro races because everyone is hyped up and just following each other blindly. The experienced riders stay calm and often see alternative lines that bypass the traffic jam and are often easier. Phew, I have talked enough. If you feel like watching some more, here is 10 minutes of ride footage along with 2 songs I hope you enjoy. As always, thanks for your support, folks.